Our top story now, SAA is set to resume flights to Cape Town, Durban and Harare from tomorrow. But the airline's gridlock with unions continues and a secondary strike is now on the cards. The Public Enterprises Minister says workers could be at risk of not being paid this month. The strike is into its sixth day. A mediator has been brought in and negotiations began at around 3 o'clock. Well, my colleague John Bailey is now at Kempton Park following those negotiations and developments. Let's find out from him what the latest is. John, a very good evening to you. So we know those talks started at around 3. Do we know where they are? Any inkling of what's being said inside at this point?
Well, Rebecca, at this stage, we do know that all the interested parties, that's NUMSA as well as the South African, the Cabin Crew Association, as well as the airline SAA, that they are involved in these negotiations. And as you mentioned, that the CCMA has once again been roped in, as was the case over the weekend. We have a mediator from the CCMA that's part of these talks, and it's all about trying to find a resolution to this ongoing strike that's now been going on for some 6 days, and it has cost the airline more than 360 million rand over the past 6 days. So we do know that there's no indication as to until when these talks will continue, but they are busy. There's no certainty at this stage what will be reached, but we know there are certain issues that they are talking about, and these are the demands that the unions have put forward. But of course, SAA has indicated, especially when it comes to the money matters, that they do not have those finances that the unions are demanding from them.
So what's been the reaction to what we heard from Minister Pravin Gordhan, John, if you've been able to gauge from union members, workers who are on strike or those who've been demonstrating, just how have they taken the news from Pravin Gordhan that they, let alone increases, they may not even get salaries this month now because of the strike? Do they buy it?
Well, for most of today, the management from these unions, they've been quite mum about those statements. They have indicated, though, that they want to try and find a solution to this ongoing impasse that we see here. And of course, the main issue is really it's about this 8% increase that the unions are demanding, as well as the pending job losses at SAA, and the demand from the unions that there must be insourcing of workers. Now, of course, the Minister Pravin Gordhan has said that even if they agree on these wage talks, there's no indication that the monies will be paid to these employees, because SAA simply doesn't have the money. That's why he has indicated that the airline might not be able to pay their workers their salaries at the end of this month. And we know that over the last 13 years that the airline has cumulatively lost funds to the value of almost 29 billion rand. So there is a great concern as to whether or not these negotiations will really be to the benefit of the workers.
And John, just fill us in, for those who might have missed out over the past couple of hours, about the notice for a secondary strike. Who's involved? Who will it affect? Well,
as we understand from NUMSA, is that they've issued an intent to strike with Commie, and you know that Commie operates Kulula.com as well as British Airways under a license agreement. So they've issued this intent to strike, as well as to air chefs. Now, air chefs, of course, provide in catering services to SAA, but we understand from Commie that they haven't received any notification from NUMSA, and of course NUMSA will first have to engage with its members through a secret ballot, and then once an agreement has been reached by these workers, then the union will have to give Commie another 48 hours before they can embark on the strike. But as we understand from Commie, they do have contingency plans in place if this secondary strike were to go ahead. So, but no indication yet at this stage as to when and if this strike will happen.
All right, so day 6 and counting. Thank you very much, John Bailey, live from Kempton Park. They're just updating us on talks of what's happening around the strike there at SAA.